Jesus, 1 second delay there. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the New Age Review podcast thing. Whatever it may be. We are going to be discussing... What? What are we discussing?
Defiance.
Right, that show. Sure was a show. Now I'm stealing from my wrestling podcast, that's what they always say. So, how did you like Defiance this fair week?
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but it was good. I liked it. How about you?
I enjoyed it. It was alright. That's exactly how I want this series to be. Every week is something extraordinarily different.
Okay.
It'll be like Stargate all over. There's a main goal of getting to Antarctica, but, well, I don't know. They actually impressed me this week.
How so?
The bad guy was pretty well defined. He had good reasons for why he was a bad guy. Daytak was obviously in the episode. Nolan showed some really good character traits. There were a lot of things that I really liked about this episode.
Fair enough.
Alright, let's see. Actually, let's see if I can hurry and go to the wiki. We'll see if we can get a rating. So what was your favorite parts of this week's episode? Who were your favorite characters?
I enjoyed Quinton this week. Not necessarily what happened with him, but I'm excited to see what will happen with him. I also enjoyed... I don't know, they were all good. I mean, it was fine.
Oh no. Okay, so, the Serpent's Egg last week, we didn't have a rating for it. It has now been updated, a 1.98. So basically, basically a 2.0, but 1.98.
We lost 0.4?
Yeah, it's 1.94 this week. It's slowly losing people, which is sad, because I'm actually liking the show more and more as it goes on. But it is already a season 2, so whatever. 2 seasons, that's alright. It's pretty good. And to be honest, I like this idea. I was watching the show last night, and I was thinking, I wish that they did a game that was connected to the Walking Dead series. So when you're watching Walking Dead, and say, for instance, Merle cuts his own hand off and runs away, on the game, Merle shows up, and you can play around with Merle until he comes back on the show. I like that idea, and I wish they would utilize that more in video games, and I'm thinking they might do that, especially with the new Xbox One being all, incorporating TV and music into gaming, so this will be really good. What about the bad guy in this episode, Paul Mattis? What'd you think of him?
He was good. He did, for like a one-show episode bad guy, he was good. What kind of character he was, what his kind of, ways of doing things. It was defined very well.
I really liked this bad guy character because he was a smart guy. And he's not really a bad guy. He's almost like an Einstein gone bad. That's what he reminded me of. It's beautiful. And the way he uses what he can do to get out of situations, he's like Batman. It's amazing.
Sure.
I like good bad guys. I like when they're written well, and this guy was really written well. But it ended up being a good thing. And to hunt this guy down, obviously, Nolan's friend, was it Uncle Eddie? I think it was Uncle Eddie.
His name's Eddie.
Okay.
They call him Eddie, so.
Uncle Eddie comes into the mix, hunting down Paul Mattis. What did you think of Uncle Eddie?
I liked him. He seemed like the type of character and like personality that would attract Nolan, so they did a good job.
Yeah.
He seemed really comfortable in his role.
I was still confused, because typically when you get a friend, you would say, yeah, well, it wasn't him that helped Paul Mattis, but he does have a good, he really has a good alibi for why he should break Paul Mattis out of that prison, but it's really good writing at the very end of the episode to show him and basically give us the hint that it was him that broke Paul Mattis out so he could get that reward money, which right down there is 750,000 script. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, so I actually wasn't a huge fan of Uncle Eddie, but
I think he's promising. I think we're gonna see more of him.
We may see more of him, maybe not this season. Or maybe in the season finale, but I don't think he'll show up back this season. I thought it was really interesting that he was gonna sell Nolan out. Ow, what was that? Ow.
Well, sorry, my apologies. My apologies. I pulled the cord out of my mic.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I liked that Eddie was willing to betray Nolan, and Nolan was willing to take the fall for Eddie. Well, kind of. Like, Nolan was willing to go to jail as long as Eddie took care of Arissa. And
it actually reminded me of a quote from Mass Effect. I've been playing a little bit of Mass Effect lately, and there's a different race that calls humans like the most interesting race, because you'll enter a room with 3 humans and leave with 9 opinions. And it's kind of true. I mean, like, we don't really settle for like our own choice in the beginning. Like, it's weird how like we change like our perspective and opinion so fast. So
yeah. What about Arissa in this episode? I'm actually looking at a picture of her now, and to be totally honest, Arissa in this episode surprised me, and I liked her a lot better. I don't know if it's just because I dislike Tommy, and I dislike their relationship.
She had like 2 lines.
She did have 2 lines, but they were important lines. Like, she didn't trust Eddie, and that panned out to be a good decision. And she didn't sleep with Tommy again, which I think is another good decision.
Yeah.
Especially the way he was playing it off. No, like, I don't have very much game in quotation marks with women, but I don't think that's how it works, where you just go, hey, you want to go do it? That's basically what he said.
Pretty much.
like,
you want to come over? I got drinks, I got a bed.
He's like, hey, you want to come to my house with your clothes? Minus the clothes? Like, really? Come on now. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like he was too annoying. Like, he really annoyed me, so maybe that's why I liked Arissa. I really liked Arissa in this episode.
He seemed weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was kind of a different side of Tommy that I'm not sure I liked. It's almost like Amanda contemplating polygamy. It's just so strange. It's so out of her character. It was weird. Now we're looking at a picture of Kenya here. And during this episode, Kenya was questioning whether she should stay away from Nolan or not, because she's developing feelings for him. So, what did you think about that? I actually like this little bit of storyline in this episode.
Yeah, like I told you, spoil alert, I guess, for my opinion, for anyone who cares. I told you a little while ago that, I wanted to, I thought that Kenya was going to either go away or die, and then that's where Nolan and, like Amanda's relationship would prosper, but, no, like, I like where they're going with it, and I like how they ended some things and began some things. So, I mean, we saw a lot last week with Nolan and Amanda and the Sparks, but this week was a little bit more focused between Kenya and Nolan, and I liked what they did.
Yeah, it was really strange, like, to see her developing feelings, because she wouldn't give it up to Eddie, so she brings in 2 of her lower whores, I guess, for the job, but he got it for free, so sure. So yeah, it's just kind of like, I think it's just kind of dragging out the storyline of Nolan and Kenya. That's all that is. That's all I really saw. Daytech in this episode was abducted, I guess you could say, kind of. Abducted maybe. by Paul Mattis. And what do you think of their whole scenes between Paul Mattis and and Datek?
I liked it. Like I was really happy with Datek's choices. You know, even though he still admits that he's the bad guy, but he's not going to help the bad guy. You know, it was awesome that he did that. But the only thing that I didn't like, that kind of bugged me, is when he's escaping. No one suspected, obviously, because he was being too nice. That he's in trouble.
Right.
But the only thing I didn't understand is, like, no one didn't even question him. After running him off the road, and he's just like, I knew you were in trouble. And it's just like, this guy, there's two different ways it could have gone down. Yeah, either Datek was in trouble, or Datek indeed was trying to help somebody, being that bad guy. And, the fact that Nolan's just like, yeah, take him home, Tommy. I'll take care of this bad dude. Like, off the hook, just like that. That's interesting. But I guess, there's some arguments that, make sense. But at the same time, it's just like, I was surprised that he got off so cleanly.
Yeah, I was really surprised that he just let him go. I thought there was going to be at least some dialogue between them of, oh yeah, well, were you helping him, or were you really abducted, or something cheesy like that.
Even the fact that Datek doesn't mention anything about the ring. Like, I was very shocked that he didn't say, I'm not going anywhere until you get that ring. Did they even take the ring?
No, that's what the end of the episode with Doc Yule was all about.
Yeah, no, I know they didn't. I know he still had to get that out, but did they even take his ring?
No.
That guy still could have flipped the switch without no one knowing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It was very strange. Doc Yule in this episode, we learned a little bit more about her. In this episode, we learned that she might have been involved. Let me read this thing. It says, Doc Yule is always conducting some kind of strange experiment in her office. Since most of their equipment was destroyed when the arcs fell, Indogenes have learned to cobble together hybrid human-alien equipment based on whatever they can salvage. Most Indogenes view the terraformed planet as a challenge to their scientific mind. That didn't give me anything, but she was basically had dialogue in this episode with Paul Mattis about her past and how she kind of helped create weapons that killed a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, she was involved in the Pale Wars.
Right.
And that's what Mads was saying. He was saying, if you don't help me, I'll expose you. She's like, you have me mistaken with someone else. So I'm sure we'll see a little bit more from Doc Yule. I don't really care for her, not yet, at least. Like, she's like humor relief in some moments, but
it's kind of strange with a lot of these low end characters. Quinton's another example in this episode. These little characters, Datek, like almost all of the smaller kind of sub-level characters we've seen a different side of them in this episode. We see Tommy being a little bit of a hornball. We see Arissa being extremely like a little kitty, like a little like she was really nice this episode to me. Even though she's like, I don't like Eddie. She was being nice about it. She wasn't like shooting daggers at him with her eyeballs. With Dr. Yule, that criminal past. Go ahead.
Maybe the Indogenes, not the Indogenes, what are they called? They're not Castans either. Oh my gosh, Arathians.
Right.
Sorry. Maybe the Arathians' menstrual cycles. So twice.
Yeah, maybe we'll learn a little more about that. It was just really strange. The biggest one that really shocked me, that I don't think I've discussed with you yet, you kind of touched on it, was Quinton in this episode. You said a couple episodes ago that he was going to be a more important character down the line, I believe. And I said, I will believe that when I see pigs fly. And there are no pigs flying, yet he is a more important character. Quinton is hearing voices in his head. He's in St. Louis. Is Quinton Randy Orton? That's a wrestling joke.
No, I don't know.
It's so strange. This kid is seeing visions of his brother, and his brother's telling him what to do. And we lost it seems like since past 2 episodes, we lost, let's see, I've forgotten their names now, but we've lost the Bioman and the Druggie. I liked them.
Oh, yeah, Bioman.
We lost one of the gay guys.
It
right?
was a Q.
I don't remember.
Something.
I don't remember.
It's a
They're
famous
dead.
name.
They're
Yeah,
gone.
they're dead. It doesn't matter. You guys gotta,
They're
forgive us.
dead.
They're dead. They're gone.
If you still
Bioman and
you still
number
remember their
2,
names,
small
you're a
dude.
nerd. There we go. But and then last
No,
week,
what was that name? That's gonna bug me now.
we had a good character in the gay guy, and one of them ran away to San Francisco, and then the other one got shot. And then this week again, we lose
It's
two really good
it's not
people.
confirmed that he's the gay guy. If you guys don't know what he's
Right?
talking about,
Yeah,
he's talking
the
about
the
the
polygamist.
husband.
Yeah, sure. I went through this on every single review I did. They were gay. I know that. My gaydar is like 80% accurate, and I always use 80% as a number. I'm finding out. No, but it's just strange. Go ahead.
Should we hurry and explain while we're still sounding like crap? I think.
Oh yeah. We'll hurry and say that. We were just messing around with Google Plus Hangouts because Skype costs money, and Google Hangouts.
Indeed, yeah.
Google Hangouts seems like it would work well, but Landon's computer, like, the camera wasn't working, and then the sound was being iffy and strange. We couldn't figure out how to work it, so we're gonna just mess around with it later.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I think I might have deleted some software or something. I'll look into it. I apologize. We apologize. We'll look into doing better.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we'll get back to that.
Okay. So let's get back to...
my battery came loose.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and then this week we had Mr. Birch get murdered by Quinton. I was pissed.
There goes another one of your favorites.
I was pissed.
Well, let's be honest. The only reason we even like him is because of his glasses.
Yes, and...
I could care less.
And you know what?
He's kind of a ratty-looking guy.
Yeah, I didn't really mind him without the glasses, but when he had the glasses and the cape, like the
cape?
the coat, what do they call him? The overcoat?
The duster?
What is it called? An overcoat?
It's called the duster. Yeah, they're
trench
they're
coat.
Dusters. Dusters, trench coats, same thing.
I've never heard of duster
Dusters
before.
is more accurate. Duster is it's where trench coat started. It's like what the cowboys used to wear, like the big, huge coats.
Oh, okay.
Call them dusters because they would collect all the dust.
I see.
And I think it's more accurate because it's apocalyptic
Right,
time.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so Birch in his duster and cool glasses, and then Quinton looks down, sees an awesome pair of glasses. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw these in there too.
Hey.
I was pissed.
Well, you can't leave any evidence.
I don't know.
He killed a man.
That's what I thought. I thought he was going to look down at the glasses and go, those are some pretty good glasses.
Did you find it interesting that he didn't go to the law with it? I mean, here he is. Yeah, he could easily say it was self-defense because the guy's in his home, but he chose not to.
Well, because
I think it's because he realizes he's digging into something deep.
Right, and who knows who's involved? He knows his father's not involved. That's why he talked with his father about it. But he didn't tell his dad that he was seeing people and things.
Which is another thing I'd like to bring up. Mayor Nikki, I guess, we always assumed that
what
the
a creepy
city
bitch.
didn't, we always assumed that the city, thought of her, nice old lady. Rafe has a moment where he says, stay away from her.
Right.
She's bad news.
Yeah.
So, obviously, they know something about Mayor Nikki that we don't.
Right.
I mean, for the most part.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And, I didn't even, in the first episode, I didn't peg her as the bad guy until maybe halfway through it. I realized, oh, well, it could have been her. Like, I remember saying that. But now, the way she's acting, she is a creeper.
Yeah, she's pretty creepy.
Like, even in her dialogue with Quinton, it was like, oh yes, I've been in those mines, I've seen those mines, but due to previous episodes, we know that Quinton has had conversations with his father about, no one else has been here, no one else has seen this, this is a secret, me and you are seeing it for the first time together. So, that's how he knew she was lying, and that she was untrustworthy. I caught that. But yeah, it was just really strange seeing a different side of Quinton this episode. So weird. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Those items Rafe and Quinton discovered, the bones, the pickaxe. Go ahead.
The guy that comes and visits Amanda, the Earth Republic representative, it doesn't even have it in the wiki. I don't know his name. I don't know if you caught it. I'll have to go back. Sorry, I apologize. I've been sick all week, everybody, and that's one reason why our quality of our audio isn't very good, is because we didn't really get a chance to work on it. And as of the video, I tried to watch the episode, to the best I could, but the representative.
Right, I got a picture of him here. This guy looks super familiar. I don't know his name.
Apart from him looking really good in his suit, he looked like he was really comfortable around Amanda, almost like they have a past.
Yeah, they definitely have a past. That's what they were hinting.
Like she is accepting of the past. Like, it's not something that haunts her. It's something that is like, oh, hey, you. What's up? Where have you been? But so that's going to be interesting now that the relationships. That was another thing that I kind of focused on this episode, was Tommy's relationship with Arissa, and I'm curious to see. I didn't even think about it. I'm curious to see. Is Arissa? Was it a one-time thing for her? I think she'll give in, but the approach that Tommy's going is kind of creepy. Almost like he thinks that they're a set item, but who knows? Maybe she just did it out of anger or what? All those hormones going through her.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then Kenya and Nolan, she obviously likes him. He obviously is attracted to her. But I mean, is it officially over? Is he Nolan eventually going to start leaning towards Amanda? I'm guessing that, but then again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this Earth representative guy. I mean, because that they played that scene to a part where you feel like, oh, this guy's going to be back.
Yeah, I feel like he'll be another important character that we'll see more of, but he looks so familiar. I'm here on IMDb trying to figure this out, and I can never figure out where the hell I'm going here. Okay.
All right. Well, while you're trying to figure that out, I'll keep going.
Talk about something else. Talk about
Okay, so the fact that Eddie comes back, that shows a little bit of the past with Nolan, in the military, and they call him Nomad, not Nomad. I thought it was Nomad.
Oh, okay.
But it's No Man's. So it's No Man's Land. So I guess he was trapped in No Man's Land for a while, and that's why they call him No Man. I thought he said Nomad, but I guess it's No Man's. And the fact that that's another thing that I want to talk about between Eddie and Nolan. Eddie's obviously trying to get the Mads to go with him, and Nolan's like, oh well, he's a terrorist. He hurt people from Defiance. I can't really do that. Did you find it really interesting that when he pulled off that little bomb thing? Let's see, it was called the crystalline bomb. That he just threw it 3 feet in front of him, and for whatever reason he blew off someone's leg, but he wasn't hurt at all.
Well, I mean, he created it, so I guess he would have better understanding.
Maybe it exploded in a certain direction.
Yeah, I was kind of confused.
I guess that's the only way it would work, because I mean it was right there, and I'm just like, oh, he's gone. He suicided. But no, he was fine.
Yeah, they said he was a pyro, and they kept calling him a pyro. But to me, he was more like a just call him a war criminal. Don't call him a pyro, because I thought something was going to catch on fire.
Yeah, they called him Pyro Freak.
Yeah.
And his name is Paul Mads. I guess they call him Mads, but
yeah, they call him Mads.
Fits him.
Yeah, oh man, it's just crazy. I actually just read something on the extra whatever, and it says, do you know who's the main bad guy in the game? Karl von Bach.
In the video game? No, Karl von Bach is he's your boss.
Oh.
He's a weapons distributor.
Right.
The main bad guy in the game, it's kind of a spoil, but I mean, we could talk about him. He's not anything. He's a Kazakhstan I know, like, he basically led the cast defense when, or the Voltons when the war was going on, and he got killed, and I guess he came back, and he's like cyborg and stuff. He was really annoying and creepy.
I see.
But,
yeah, I remember seeing a cyborg guy in on the commercial the other day. So
he's bald, if that helps.
yeah, he's bald. Like his face is all messed up. He kind of looks like Frieza, but not as weird.
I don't even know. He was a very. He was not a fun boss to fight. I'll just say that much. Just fight after fight after fight, and it's not like, you know, throughout the game. It's like the last boss fight. You have to fight him and kill him like 5 times. It's ridiculous. But oh man, I don't know. I guess he. If you look into like the lore and stuff, we can go more into that like next week. But he was one of the main dudes that led the the Voltons against the humans. And I know Nolan knew him, not like personally, but you know, he dealt with him at one point in the war. That's another thing I do want to talk about, though, is the Earth Rep, the government of, you know, the Earth Republic.
Right.
Yeah, the Earth Rep. I do not know where they're going with it in the show. I mean, they're making them sound like freaking Nazis, just like bad government.
Yeah.
In the video game, they're not like that at all. It's actually, you know, I'm really curious, you know, why they are doing it so differently, you know, versus the game versus the, you know, the show. But in the game, I mean, you start out on an Earth Rep ship. You do a lot of, you know, missions for the Earth Rep people, and you know, it's not like they're, you know, corrupt in any way. I mean, they're just trying to survive and, you know, maintain peace. But I mean, all we've seen is a corrupt government, which is another thing that I want to come up and I want your opinion on. You know, the fact that Mads is like, or actually it was Eddie. Eddie's like, there's going to be another war anyways. You know, might as well turn him into Earth Reps so they can use him. I honestly didn't think there would be another war anytime soon. I mean, I thought, you know, things were getting good. I didn't think that, you know, there were resources to even have a war, but I guess the Voton Collective is around still.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the Earth Republic. Do you think things are going to go down eventually? What's your prediction?
The Votanus Collective, I think, will be a huge issue, but I don't think that's the enemy in mind for this season. I think the enemy in mind for this season, one, is Daytech. He's going to be an overlaying enemy, much like Grempel is in Once Upon a Time, or how kind of Sawyer and Ben Linus is in Lost. They're enemies, but they kind of help you sometimes, but they're still enemies. That's how Daytech will be. I think the big enemy this season will be the Mayor Lady and Earth Republic. And I think it depends on how far the show goes when they...
And yeah, that's Mayor Nikki.
Right. So, I don't know. I think it'll come into play eventually.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And, Defiance is renewed for a second season, so
yeah,
you can look forward to that.
To be totally honest, I'm actually liking this show more and more. What I wanted to talk about with Nolan was his, and this is just yet another good character trait for him, is that he was willing to go to jail for Orisa.
Yeah, I called it that, you know, he's going to be like, you know, he's going to do the good thing here. You know, his only request was, you know, tell them that Orisa's dead. You know, that way they don't come after her. But I'm like, oh, you know, once that happened, I'm like, oh, Eddie's going to go. You know, Nolan's doing the good thing here. And, you know, let's be honest, in a TV show, whenever you do the good thing, it never really ever happens. And,
yeah.
You know, you get what you want.
Yeah,
the fact that, you know, Eddie was the one that saved them, and the only reason that Nolan is, you know, the father of Orisa is, you know, because of Eddie. He's the one that, you know, helped them out, you know, when they, you know, first got Orisa, and I'm looking at the notes of a review right now, on Wiki, and it's not saying, you know, exactly what he did. I think he, like, stole a vehicle or something.
What?
I believe.
When they saved Orisa?
Yeah.
Okay, I read that actually just a minute ago on the
Go ahead.
extras. basically what happened was what we saw. Arissa was being almost nearly tortured in some crazy-ass ritual, and they were a part of a group of people who were with Earth Republic, and a little group of guard guys, like a team, like a SEAL Team 6 type
commando
thing.
team.
Yeah, commando team.
Okay.
And they broke in, they stopped this, they ended that, and Nolan did not want to send Arissa to a concentration camp. He knew that she wouldn't survive, so so Eddie basically stole a car, and so it made him look like he stole the car, and Nolan and Arissa got away, and that's why he went to jail for however many odd years he said he went to jail for.
Eddie got screwed over, man.
Yeah, he definitely did. What I thought should have happened was I didn't like when Eddie was like within at least a minute and a half saying, I'm going to turn you into, oh, no, you do the same for me. I'm going to go in there and do it myself. But of course, at the end of the episode, you know why he did it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like, why not add him in as a deputy? We can get rid of Tommy next episode. We'll clear some room.
We're not getting rid of Tommy.
We'll clear some room. Let's see.
No, he definitely. I think he's going to be better off being come and go character. Because he's so Nolan-like. I mean, they're so similar.
Yeah, this is...
you can only have one Nolan.
There's something else in this episode, and it's all about Amanda, and the reason they had Paul Mattis in the first part of this episode captured already. He was captured, like, within 5 minutes. And, there were 3 different groups of people who wanted to deal with him. Nolan wanted to, I think, just eliminate him, is what he wanted to do, but he kind of wanted to give him to Eddie, so Eddie... Eddie and let Eddie take him.
He at first was wanting to do the law kind of thing,
right?
And get justice for Defiance.
Oh, that's right.
But then eventually he was like,
and then he did turn to Eddie.
You're my buddy. Let me go talk to my second girlfriend and see what I can do.
Right.
And he talked to her, and she wasn't too thrilled about it, and she realized that the Earth Republic was going to come soon. So there probably wasn't going to be much that they could do. But, still, she said she wanted to fight for it, for Defiance, because that's their citizens that got hurt. One guy getting his leg blown off.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the Boston bombing, Boston people definitely want, revenge. And,
understandable.
If he gets out of, country and he's in, like, Canada, of course America's going to want him back.
But Amanda's, she had another mission in this episode, and that was to deal with Earth Republic. And basically, it says here that they want the train to be built through Defiance. It would give them more. It would just be a good decision overall. Everything would increase.
We saw. Was it last week that their trade route? The way they do it is via buses.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Like some sort of cargo car truck thing. So I mean, it wasn't very good, and everyone was excited to get that shipment and stuff, or I guess cargo load, whatever you want to call it. I mean, even Alec made he's like, oh, it's in, everyone, let's go get our stuff. Everyone was excited. So yeah, I mean, if they had a train, that would help Defiance a lot.
Right. So yeah, that was really Amanda's goal, is to keep Mads with her and use him as a bargaining chip to kind of get in good, because she wants to raise the money for the train without asking EREP for help, because they are corrupt as far as the TV show goes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, they definitely have, I'm confused. I don't know if they're a corrupt government. I think there's good people in EREP, but I think that it's most corrupt in most ways. I mean, we'll have to see more. I haven't seen anything specific in the game that has tied it into being a really corrupt government. But the fact that you brought up Karl von Bach, I'd be really interested to see if he ever enters the show.
Yeah.
I doubt it, based off the storyline, but I mean, he's pretty much your human version of Paul Mads.
Yeah, it's really weird, because I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie shows up in the video game at some point. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's just so
maybe.
strange.
Who
They're
knows?
bringing in characters, they're killing people off left and right. This show has all the ingredients of being a great show. It's kind of sad that it's on Sci-Fi. I think they probably could have done this on A&E with maybe a little kind of a production type change. They probably
Maybe.
would have done a few. They probably would have accentuated characters. They could have went
Right.
another direction with this than Sci-Fi. I think it's kind of a raw deal that it went to Sci-Fi because Sci-Fi's got a knack of being a nerd channel, and people don't want to watch shows that are on a nerd channel.
I guess so.
I
Yeah.
mean, if this show showed up on Fox 13, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's strange. But I don't know. It's just really weird. But I'd probably give it more of a chance if it were on 13 than Sci-Fi. Even
I
now.
think a lot of people more.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of people would give it more of a chance as well. I think that once it branches out a little bit from sci-fi, you're going to see a lot more people getting involved and knowing like the story and stuff. I mean, because look at Firefly. I know you haven't seen Firefly. It started out on Sci-Fi. It's probably one of the most loved Sci-Fi series. I really regret ever watching it just because I want it to continue,
Right.
and it's not going to continue. I'm sorry, people, it won't. There's too many issues. But the one that branched out and it was on Netflix, it was showing on different channels and stuff. That's when I think it really got popular, because not that it wasn't popular on Sci-Fi. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was the Defiance at the time. But I mean, once it branched out, you get people like me who don't really typically watch Sci-Fi. I don't even really watch TV. I watch Netflix only because I don't like waiting weekly for shows, but I'll make some exceptions. But like I was just trying to say, you got people like me that probably would never have watched it unless it would have branched out. And I'm sure eventually once Defiance does branch out, it's going to get a bigger name.
I sure hope so, because I think it's a good enough show to be reviewed. It's not a show that's like, let's see, what show do I watch? I watch a lot of wrestling. What's a show that I watch that I wouldn't even really talk about anybody about? Let's see, The Neighbors. I don't really talk about that. That's like a 30-minute show, though. Like, I don't know. I think that this show is good enough.
I'm surprised you talk about Big Brother. That show sucks.
Yeah, Big Brother. There you go. That's actually a
my
really good
gosh.
show. It's such an underrated show.
No, it sucks. I don't know
People.
why you like it.
I love seeing people hate and lie and backstab other people. Anyway, back to Defiance. I think the other big disadvantage to this show is that the game is not great. That's
Not yet. It's good.
I think if you're watching the
it's a
show,
good game.
the game is a good game. But if you aren't
Yeah,
watching the show, it's a pretty dumb game. Like, and you're just kind of
Well, let me give my opinion on that for someone that's actually played the game. I think the game is good, whether you watch the show or not. I would never, ever buy the game, surely, or based off of the show, knowing what I do know, because it feels like an entirely different world, honestly. More sci-fi, more like cool armors and stuff. Not so downgraded. But I mean, it's definitely a game that's fun. That's gonna keep you entertained, for a long time. But the thing is it's not a great game. It's not a game that stands out among other games. I mean, it has its pros, and it definitely has its cons. I guess the fact that it's an MMO and it's always changing is good. But it needs to be worked on. They need to do something to change it up a little bit to make it stand out even more.
Yeah, I really hope that the game, because I'm actually being pulled in because I'm watching the TV show. Like I said, Rin being in it, that surprised me. And if they keep doing stuff like that, I would very much love to play that game eventually. Just
Absolutely.
not $60 worth.
No, yeah. Let me give you my the way I would do it if I could redo it. I wouldn't buy the game until you look into it, not just based off the show, not just based off of little things you hear, like for example the fact that Ren is in the game. That's one thing that you liked. How they're bringing in characters from the show. Definitely look into some of the gameplay. What the game is about. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I would not just want you to buy it, based off of those small little reasons, because I think some people would be really disappointed in it if they bought it, thinking that it would be a lot like the show, because it's not.
All right, so
like arc hunting is completely different, in my opinion, versus the show and the game. Arc hunting in the game, I feel like I'm more of a mercenary than a treasure hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just, like, to me, it's just like a disadvantage, especially when you have, I listened to actually Creature Talk, and Nova, who's a extremely respectable person, but, maybe it's just not his type of game, really did not like this game. So
he bought it?
No, well, I'm sure he did. He's got all the money in the world, so I'm sure he did. He probably threw it away. But
he's reviewed it.
Yeah, he's looked over it, and as much as he's a goofy guy, he really does.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Like the general consensus of all the creatures was that this game sucked. I do plan on getting it and judging it for myself, just not not yet.
I think it feels more like an RPG than an MMO. It's not really an MMO, in my opinion. I mean, you don't really fight against each other, for one. Yeah, you see a bunch of people running around all the time, but it's just like, you don't really do anything with them. I mean, unless you're on the same mission. And, that's one thing that sucks, is you can't play with your friends unless, you're at the same mission point. Yeah, you can play, there are some specific missions you can go into, but, as of, the storyline and stuff, yeah, you're kind of on your own. And it just is kind of like, I'd like to be, more involved, something more like, Red Dead Redemption, where I can, form a posse whenever I want and,
right.
Just go do stuff.
That'd be nice.
No, that game was awesome. That, and that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like Red Dead multiplayer in a way, where, there's a bunch of little things you can go do. I wouldn't necessarily, claim it as a MMO at this moment, even though it is. But if that's an MMO, I would consider Red Dead Redemption an MMO as well.
Yeah,
but
I do want to get that game eventually, so that's a promise, people.
I would hold off just for now. Wait till the price
I'm gonna
goes
wait
down.
for it to at least be $40, and maybe if I'm in a splurgy mood, I'll buy it. But I really think that this game will be down to $20 by Christmas, and that's when I'll pick that up. And Season 2, Episode 1, I'll have a review of it for you. So that's probably what I'm thinking. So overall on this episode, what did you give it out of 10?
Out of 10? 7, and that's being generous.
I actually like this episode quite a bit because of all the character arcs that happened.
Oh, I liked it a lot too.
So I'm gonna give it.
I know
an
they can
8.
do better.
I'm gonna give it another 8 this week. I think it's a consistent 8 so far the past 3 weeks for me.
All right.
So that gives it a 7.82.
7.5.
Sure, fine, whatever.
Your math sucks, by the way.
7.82 made sense in my head. No, 7.5. 7.5 out of 10 this week.
Terrible at math.
I re-listened to that argument a couple weeks ago, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm an idiot.
Terrible.
I even went through it on my fingers, and it just didn't make sense to me at the time. So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching a 1.94.
Wait.
Go ahead.
What was our question of the week?
The question of the week, it doesn't matter. Nobody's commenting on the video, so I don't know. The question of the week was, what romance don't you like, wasn't it?
Oh, that's true.
I think it's obvious. I don't like Tommy and Arissa. Who didn't you like?
I don't like Nolan and Kenya's relationship. It's
kind of strange. I'd rather him be with Amanda.
Too concubine-y.
Yeah, it's kind of dirty.
It's too dirty.
Yeah.
It's very dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could date someone like that, man.
We're clean here in the UTAH.
It's not even the fact that we're from Utah.
I don't know. I've never been outside of Utah to know.
It's the fact that your girlfriend freaking is sleeping with other guys. It's just like, oh.
Maybe that's a good thing in other places. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. No real... Well, I guess what would be the question of the week?
Question of the week this week. Okay, if you could choose to be any race...
Ooh, yeah, that's a good
what
one.
would you choose?
Alright. There you go.
What would you like to do for one whole day? You get to be in their shoes. You get to do what they do. And I mean, you might have to look a little bit into their lore. You can basically go off of, like what right now, if you want to be a spirit rider, a Raytheon, that'd be cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Hanging out with, what's his name? Rupert?
I'm not going to spoil it, actually. I was going to kind of go into it, but I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to think about it, because there's advantages and disadvantages to both. Or all, I mean. Oops. Kind of spoiled it.
I think I would go with Rupert. I'd be in a Raytheon for a day.
I don't know.
I really like lions, too. Yeah. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, well, I'll think about that through the week, and then I'll come back at you. And I'll give you the reasons as to why you might be wrong about that.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, we did have our comment of the week, though.
Do we? Did we get a comment? Are you sure?
Yeah, we did. We got a comment. It was actually a really good comment.
Oh, okay.
Let me pull it up.
Are you sure?
I really enjoyed it.
I don't remember.
Whoever you are. Yep. No, we did. It was awesome. It was a good comment. It's from Crimson Taurus. Very good. Let's see. He had two.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. It was nap time.
Okay.
When these came up.
You actually might want to pull it up and read it yourself.
Yeah.
To get better audio.
I'm trying to find it. Well, that was episode 5, right?
Yeah, it was our last week.
Yep.
Or it wouldn't be on the show
I'm
this
following
week.
the link through YouTube, and I couldn't find it. Look at that free plug of all my other video games that you could watch and like. If it loads.
He's not telling you to go watch them, but I am.
Like this video while we're waiting on the loading, because I don't want it to be playing. That
guys,
really screwed up last episode.
And for all of you that have liked them in the past, thank you. It really does help. Like I said last week, it's not, the fact that we, for our reasons. It's so that, people realize that, this is a fun show to listen to, and, it's something that, you guys enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, don't leave a like. Please don't leave a dislike. That, we don't want that, but please leave a like if you guys did like it at all. We will be working on the audio in the future, and I apologize on, that. But, do you have that comment pulled up yet?
I do. And one quick thing, it does say that I have another channel. I do have another channel, and I did put up a video. I didn't get a whole lot of response from it, so what I'm going to do is kind of keep that channel in my back pocket until we start up, like, Dexter and all those other ones. All the other TV shows. Big Brother will be on, I'll be doing that. Agents of the Shield is one that I'm going to look into.
I don't know what it's called.
Agents of the Shield. Sierra Hotel Indigo Echo Lima Delta Shield sorry. Inside wrestling joke. Okay, Crimson Taurus. I agree with pretty much everything you guys said. The Earth Republic represent, and now I think in my other review I kept calling it the New Republic. I do that a lot, so if you ever hear me mistake those things, for instance...
Star Wars.
For instance, if I'm saying, man, that Captain Kirk from Star Wars, I love Star Wars and Captain Kirk, please correct me, or else I'm going to keep making that mistake. You too, Landon.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know if I will.
Please correct me, because I don't catch on to it until I watch it back. The Earth Republic representative was just odd to me. I was just scratching my head. It was interesting how it all played into the story, but man, it was different. Loved the technical difficulties in this one, man. LOL. This episode seemed like you guys were just two buds. Like alcohol?
Maybe. Flowers? Flowers. I think
no, that's a term for friends. That's just kind of strange in these parts.
Oh.
Yeah. How dare you call me and Blitzkrieg friends? You don't know us. What if we're acquaintances? Yeah, he's good looking. Why would I hang out with him?
Excuse me?
Sorry.
What was that?
Made it super enjoyable. Okay, yeah, and I basically responded.
You really liked that polygamous guy, didn't you?
I did like him.
Can you relate to him, Derek?
How so?
Okay, move on.
How do you mean?
I don't think I want to know. I don't think anyone else wants to know either. Let's move on.
If it were me,
yeah,
I would. If it were me, I would rather go with Rin as well. Just that's all I gotta say. Questions for you guys though. Would you be interested in having a voiceover role in a YouTube episodic series? This I totally forgot to respond to you about. But yeah, I might actually do that.
We will get back to you on that.
Yeah. I don't know how that would work though.
That's for later. Yeah, we definitely send us an email at tna.defiance.com about a little bit more information to go off of. I mean, yeah, you can leave it in the comment, but it's going to be better for us if you send it to the email. And that way you're not limited on how much you can say, especially even on Twitter. You can leave a tweet, I guess, but yeah. And while I'm saying that, you can find us at tna.defiance@hotmail.com or Blitzkrieg Omega on Twitter. That is me. Derek doesn't have a Twitter. He doesn't love you like I love you.
I have a Twitter. I just really don't love you like he loves you.
Yeah, I do it for you guys. I'm not doing this for anything else, but the fun of it. So definitely, if Crimson, if you want to get back to us on your little thing you're doing, go ahead and leave us some more information, or anyone else that has anything to say to us, you can definitely leave a comment in the box below, or those other things that I mentioned. But if you're going to go ahead and do any of that, go ahead and leave a like as well, and we'll like you back.
Alright, and that being said, I do believe that's the end of this YOUCAST.
Yeah, let me, hold on. I gotta pull up my notes, make sure we said everything I wanted to talk about.
Okay,
because,
we'll
there was some crazy
double
stuff.
check. Boom, boom. While you're doing that, I was playing around on Google Hangouts. I'm really looking forward to switching over to that. I do like this setup I've got here. I could go to any page, but I think I could do that on Google Hangouts as well. So that would be extremely hilariously fun, because I don't even want to spoil it.
Okay. There were two things that we missed that I wanted to talk about that I didn't understand. Maybe you can shed some light.
All right.
First thing, the flowers that were sent to Amanda, is that from the Earth Rep guy?
Maybe.
I saw a little symbol. I don't know what it was. I'm guessing it's from him. Nolan doesn't seem like the type to go pick some flowers, and
I don't believe it was Nolan.
Yeah, that guy
was it Valentine's Day? I don't know. I do not remember that scene at all.
I think he sent them to her. The
E-Rep
representative guy. It doesn't say his name. I apologize. We're gonna call him Fancy Suit. We'll call him Fancy Suit.
Fancy Suit. All right. You know who he kind of looks like, by the way? He kind of looks like Mark Ruffalo.
I don't know who that is.
Hulk from Avengers.
Oh, okay, yeah, a little bit.
That's what he looks like to me, but okay, go ahead.
The other thing, so that little yellow powder stuff that Nolan's like, that's what we used. Does that mean, because we saw, that's how Mads escaped.
Right.
We saw that Eddie pulled some out of his boot. Does that mean Eddie did indeed help him escape?
Yes. That's what they insinuated.
That was rhetorical, but...
Oh, okay.
I was just curious if, you had anything else to go off of that. Even that, though he's like, oh, Nolan, I wouldn't do that to you. No,
right, yeah, he lied.
Is he as good of a friend as, we presume him to be, or...
Right.
Maybe I'm just thinking too much. Conspiracies, man. Conspiracies.
Alright. So, is that all you had?
That's all I got, yeah. That's all I got. We went through everything else. Other than that, good episode.
Couple weeks break, actually. Right?
Is that right?
At the end of the episode, it said, in 2 weeks, new episodes return.
Okay.
So
it'll be good to have
1 week
stuff.
break.
I've been sick.
I think that's how that works. But
1 week, 2 weeks.
I'm leaving at the end of June to Oregon for 2 weeks. So if that kind of coincides incorrectly, that'll be an issue.
Maybe we'll have.
But
to
if I take my if I take my laptop, that won't be an issue at all. So I'll go to Starbucks. I'll go to Starbucks and I'll host this show in the middle of that sumbitch if I have to. I don't even drink coffee.
I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here.
All right, so we'll figure that out if we have to. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Leave a like.
Thanks, guys. Blitzkrieg Omega here. Thanks for having me, bud.
Thank you. See, now that's why they're calling us buds, because you keep using it as a term of endearment.
I like bud. It reminds me of flowers. You're the rose of my life.
You are a dirty mank. Slut. There. Alright.
You are the yellow rose of my life.
That's disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I am Derek D. Ginger King, and we're YOUCASTing, or we were, and we're done checking out.